Hey, how we doing, everybody? Hopefully the camera's still rolling and we can all get together and say things on the internet. I know I'm talking into a microphone, so we got everything synced up, so we're all just gonna hope that you can see us through them interwebs, through this camera that we got here. We got the man on the ones and twos running around making it all set up, Skylar and Neil over there. Doing that. We got the man building the bass, not just the foundation, but with his vocal tones, Darius Culpepper right next to him. We've got the very hospitable, very opinionated, very ready to get us going on this show, Monica Sauceda, giving us our little sanctuary here, and I am the one introing it. My name is Corey Hogger. How you doing? We turned off the AC for this. We hope that we can make a good conversation come together. So how we all feeling right now?
Tired.
Woo!
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I do need to issue an apology to Jack Harlow's mom, friend of the show.
Okay.
I've said some very disparaging things about your son. All true, but I just apologize because I saw you in this video when you're such an adorable lady. And, Drake was rapping to her in the video and she was dancing, and it was just something about an old white lady dancing to Drake that just kind of tickles my heart. So, you're adorable, Mrs. Harlow. It's just something that I don't really care for, but I'm a fan of you, so I just wanted to say that.
Are you trying to find a date?
Am I
What is happening? I'm right here.
I'm just saying. I had
Just
to,
finding ways to mend fences.
I had
With
to put
moms.
it out there. I had to put it out there, y'all. And I guess that kind of leads me to the first thing I kind of want us to talk about is fake it till you make it. And being out here, sometimes you can be put in some situations that sometimes can seem awe-inspiring or grandiose or whatever. And I do think it is like imperative to kind of act like you've been here before, because I'll tell y'all a real quick story. There was this one time, I'm fresh out here in California and hadn't really been anywhere nice since I had been here. And this girl had took me to Cheesecake Factory, and I made like a huge deal about it. I was just like,
First of all, Cheesecake Factory?
Cheesecake Factory, yeah. And I made, and she was like, get whatever you want. And I was like, oh shit. And so,
Well, I mean, sure, okay. In context, the whole menu of Cheesecake Factory and being told get whatever you want is
it's pretty big, right?
it's a monumental.
And so, and she was just like, damn, you ain't been nowhere before. So that just leads me to ask y'all, it's like, have y'all been in situations as to where it was something that like seemed grandiose to you at the time and you kind of were a little awestruck by it?
I don't know. For me, I feel like I enjoy seeing people enjoy things for the first time and be awestruck. I think more of us should tap into that. And I think it's okay to like it to be your first time and like, oh, this is cool. Because I think we allow the world to kind of rob us of that like childlike wonder when it comes to different things. I do understand there's a certain tact as an adult, like where it's just like if you're in a business situation or things like that, yes. But it's all about, I think, environment and like, like what the circumstances in which it's happening. Like with stuff like that, I think it is okay. And it should have been like, like, yeah, cool. Like, oh my God, you're so excited. So now I want to do more things to make you feel like this excited.
When I first came out here, I went to the candy store as you do, and I picked up Wonka bar, and I got this golden ticket to go to the Wonka factory.
Are we gonna be serious?
I promise you, this is dead serious. So I get to the Wonka factory. Willy Wonka is like, yeah, this is the fountain of chocolate. I'm like, whoa, the fountain of chocolate. And he's like,
and then you fell in.
You fucking.
And you were like 300 pounds at that time?
Yeah, he's like, act like you've been there before or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's Oompa Loompas. And he's like, that's racist that you're pointing that out. They're just like, and they're like, they had a big giant room full of everlasting gobstoppers. And I made a really big deal about it. And then Willy Wonka was like, get this fucking loser out. He's like acting like he's this is his first time in
So
a
Corey,
Walmart
I would
factory.
imagine that you've been in situations as well because you was in the military, been a bunch of places that you had never been before, a kid from Minnesota. So I feel like you could probably speak to something like this better than any of us could.
Yeah, so I guess it all started when I went to this candy shop and got this chocolate bar. I'm just kidding. No, basically when I was a kid, I was an only child. I was relatively introverted. I have bad eyes, so like I'm not.
Oh, I feel you.
I don't have a great grasp on how everyone just goes about being able to throw themselves off of things. So everything for me was kind of an expansion on what I had experienced before. And I just kind of kept taking that mentality because you gotta take the journey for what it is. So you gotta try to experience things, being aware of what your experiences have and what you can contribute to other people who haven't had experiences. It's one of the benefits of growth. It's like you see what how things have affected you, and then you can explain it to other people.
Yeah.
So I think I said this before, but like when I was in second grade, we went to the IMAX theater and I saw the sun. Like,
Oh shit, we did talk
I
about
was
this before because then yeah.
overwhelmed. I was crouching on my chair. I was like, no, what? No. So you just gotta take that into experience. Like everyone else is still there. Like we're all still fine. It's not literally a ball of fire right in front of you. It's just in context. You're kind of getting a scope that things are a lot bigger than your little.
Even with that being said, I think at such a young age, like I think you understand things that most people don't, where it's just like we are that small and it is a giant ball of fire that can literally implode at any fucking moment and we could blow up at any moment. The earth could just stop spinning and we would all just fly.
Yeah,
like just you know, and these are things without like
something
outside
could
of our
take out its trajectory.
yeah, and that's things without but the part of the human experience is making sense of things that we don't really understand and just being like we just assume that we're just gonna keep rotating, we just assume that the earth is just gonna be okay with us just continually trashing it, like you know, like things like
hope. It's faith.
but it's just yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Like these are things that like the average person like doesn't really like think about, but like if we really sat down and thought about it, I think most people would respond if they really like understood the gravity of it, like would respond the same way you did as a child, like holy shit, like this is like a giant ball of fire. Like this is terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's normalized because this is just part of life.
Sure.
Like for us, this is like there are a handful of things that we as human beings, no matter race, gender, religion, like we can all agree upon. Like yes, there is a sun and it is in we do, or you know what I mean, like these things are true.
Yeah.
You know, and these are things that like we all have to collectively find ways to deal with the fact that we are small.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw a YouTube video debunking the sun. There's like been a lot of studies about the sun. Like, we were talking about conspiracy theories or whatever last time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hold
there's
on,
like,
but we gotta let this young man finish his point because I don't think he was done yet.
Yeah, so you get the sensation. So you familiarize yourself with the sensation of what you what you are experiencing, and that way, it won't. Repetition means that it won't be as overly saturating the next time you are aware of it. So
Yeah.
even still, in like going on a school field trip, like you are surrounded by other people. So,
Yeah.
so I was able to get a grip on, like come back into my body.
Yeah.
Just get a relative experience. you just gotta realize it is important to find out what is true about the world. I don't know. For me, it was probably because of Jurassic Park. I was super into dinosaurs when I
I'm
was a kid.
so dead.
Like all that prehistory shit, and like being able to like have more of an understanding about what it actually is, and having little pieces to be able to put together to be like, okay, so this is a part of a thing that actually happened, and people been making it through a bunch of wild shit. And it's just kind of taken from what you see other people experience and the stories that people tell. It's also pretty into stories, so understanding how all of this pertains to people is something that I've liked gathering more insight in. Like even people with conspiracy theories. So how do you feel about the sun, Skylar?
I don't like that it's just always taking the brunt of like it just takes up the whole goddamn sky the whole time. Like it doesn't. It outshines. It like
You heard it
upstages and
here
outshines
first, guys.
all the
Skylar's
goddamn.
got beef with the sun.
Yeah, like there's. What about
Got a
fucking?
hot take on the sun.
There's so many stars out there
That is fair.
that don't get their day in the sun, you know? Like, that don't get...
Well, I think that's
they're
just how it
outshined.
I mean, they do technically get it. What about at
Yeah.
nighttime?
Well,
Yeah.
exactly,
The
when
other-
everybody's asleep, and that's when the stars come out to play. They're relegated to the dark. They have to do
But
their
they
thing
are
in the
light
shadows.
in the darkness, and quite frankly, sometimes it's just like sometimes you need that light in the darkness, and I think that just might even speak on sometimes we might think our light is little, but it could also, that light could help people be guided through life and their
Sure.
journey, you know? Like the sun isn't necessarily something that you can use as a map necessarily.
Yeah.
Like it's more like you can use it for time. I mean, I guess you like could, because you know, like
Yeah.
like it sets, and you know.
You get the pattern of how the shadows
Yeah.
work in the day.
I was like,
And you set
sun's
up a
more
stone.
of a thing of like this helps me track time, as where the stars helps me find my way.
Yeah.
You know.
But
I don't
the Mayans used the stars to do both, which is like
The
extra.
Mayan. I mean,
I
if
didn't
we gonna
realize
talk
you were
about
Mayan.
If we
Well,
gonna,
I'm not Mayan.
if we gonna talk about the Mayans, if we gonna go by what the Mayans say, those motherfuckers said that
We would die in
2012
12.
was supposed to be.
Although
the
there
end,
is a
so-
theory that when they CERN or whatever, that place where they turn on that like
The
I don't,
particle accelerator.
yeah. But they turned it on in 2012, and supposedly there's a theory, if we're talking conspiracy theories, that we all jumped a timeline and we all died in 2012 or some shit like that. And then
That tracks.
they turned it back on in 2019, right before COVID happened, and then all that. And they're about to turn it back on again, and because they're trying to figure out how the world works. So they're just like basically just slamming a bunch of fucking molecules together that like is like, oh, this is how the earth was made. And
Like
it's
in
just
the
too many
act.
people trying to fucking play God, and it's just like, why are we focused on that when we're just about to trash all of our resources? Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But going back
If we can
to
make
the
another
original
Earth, we don't need more resources because we can just make a whole nother Earth with a whole bunch of more resources that we can pilfer.
yeah, because we are God, and that's
It
our
wouldn't
job.
be for us though. Essentially, with the relative understanding of our place in time and space, like even if we did create another like relative Big Bang, like that's what the Hadron Collider is for. It's like to try and bust shit so that life can possibly come. But we're like way late into the stages of that happening. So like to create anything that would be sustainable to us and wouldn't just immediately kill anyone off with an imbalance of chemicals is just like pretty slim margins.
I just feel like people just need to stop trying to play God. How many times y'all
It's
got to
like-
do this? Like, just because, I mean, we was talking about Jurassic Park, you know, the famous quote,
Yeah.
scientists they didn't stop to ask if they should.
For sure.
It's
Just
like
if
when
they
Jif
can.
had the salmonella outbreak. Like, they tried too hard. They got too close to the sun.
Yeah.
And
this is what's furthering your beef with the sun, I see.
exactly. Yeah.
Got it. So back to the original question, we're acting like, I will say I have had an experience of just like, oh, act like you've been here before.
Right.
My first, and we talked about this too, my first 4DX experience, I was just like so amazed, and I was like, whoa, oh shit, like the whole time. And I could tell like people were either very amused or very irritated, because I was like, sorry, I've never been to this before, like I'm just like, it's just like I am, and I'm like, are you guys not amazed at this? Like, why is no one else like jumping out of like, this is cool. The fact that we live in a time that we can really just experience a movie, not just watch it, but like experience it. And you're running through, because I watched Into the Spider-Verse, and it's a good one to watch do that.
It'd be helpful with it being all animated, I would imagine.
Oh,
it helps
yeah.
the experience.
Because it's just like, whoa, and you're like going through all these, like, you know, it's a very, it's also a very made for that movie. It's already like meant to be in 3D. Truly. And then you feel like you're falling through the multiverse, like with them, and you're chasing the bad guys too. You're turning into Spider-Man too. Like, you feel the wind in your hair. Like, it just like, I think at one point, like a little spritz of water, like but that's an option. You can choose whether you want to get sprayed with water or not. But it's just like
an immersive experience.
Yeah. So. I was like, whoa, you know, like it was.
But to be fair, you would that would probably still be your reaction now.
Yes.
Like, you know, so.
But it's just like, I think it's so. But that's what I mean by like, I do really think that it's that it's okay to just enjoy stuff and like experience it, like, and really just. I was a little high too, so there was also that aspect of it that made it that much cooler. Yeah. Honestly. But yeah.
No, that's what's up. And then too, I guess that brings me to my next point too. Just kind of like the future, and I kind of want to get an idea or like a gauge of like what an ideal future would look like for y'all in terms of like y'all future. But before that, could you please answer this sincerely?
Yeah,
if you're not going to, tell me now so I can have Monica or Corey pose the question to you, because I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit of the nonsense.
Impossible.
Because I think it kind of like usurps the actual shit we're trying to do here.
No, yeah, we're actually getting to the bottom of something like.
If you could answer it.
And I would never dream of. What do you take me for, Mr.
All right, so this is the part where I start ignoring, because then I'm gonna get to a point where Corey and Monica might want to fire me for not being so down for the hijinks and whatnot. But anyway, the future. What does an ideal future for y'all, look like? And Corey, I'll start with you.
Well, as someone who spent the first 3 decades not even considering a future, having spent the last few years trying to understand and actualize how I want to grow as a person, I just like the concept of building foundations and letting my environment be better and grow from me having been a part of it. So I found stability is most important, because it was always on the pretty low end of the economic spectrum. I've always kind of placed myself there. I didn't really like money or trying to understand what money really is. So like I would work. I got a job when I was 15 on a dock. I would just work consistently, try and save up some money and do that. And then once I joined the military, like once I got a grasp on like the concept of a career or a job. I decided to sign my life into a contract for 4 years. And I was like, hey, sure, just pay me a consistent flat rate with potential for growth for the next 4 years. And you can do whatever the fuck you want with me, apparently. Which, in leading itself to the experience, can be a little bit overwhelming. But the concept of relativity is pretty important in the scheme of how we understand and can present like information to each other in our world.
Right.
So, like just knowing, like going into basic training, knowing that other people have gone through basic training, and the concept behind it is to make someone understand the gravity and importance of like military strategy, like finding the order in the chaos of war. Like that's what everyone tries to figure out. Like what is the most I don't know, middle ground way of making the thing better, but then you got other people differentiating on what better is. So we just want to be able to make a stable platform wherein we can kind of understand the waves of what people strive for in the capital society, like the concept of gaining capital and the importance of capital is it's kind of like this weird dynamic you have to have with other people. We all have to be under some tacit agreements on like the how much something matters to us and how much you're willing to put forth in interest rates. Interest rates have always scared me the most. Like I don't like the idea of spending money I don't have and then you charging extra money on that money for like just time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you on that whole. Yeah.
I got
interest.
I got
So.
bills I'm ignoring right now.
Me too.
Go ahead, but no,
Look at us
give us-
thriving.
but give me your like,
Well,
what's your
so.
ideal future for yourself?
Oh, I was just gonna go about. I was gonna get into a whole nother thing, but you're right.
No, you
Bring it
get
back to
into
the
it
original.
later. You
No,
get
no,
into
no.
it through that.
Well, I guess yeah. Credit scores are bullshit.
Yeah.
It's something I've cried about, and it's crazy trying to express these things that don't make sense to me to my parents because they're like, "Oh, that's just the way things are. That's the world we live in. You know, we obey the laws of the land.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
know,
the
like."
laws of the land are meant for the people and we are the people.
And
so
it's
like,
not beneficial. I was just like, and my argument, like, as I was always in tears, because it's just like my credit score has ranged from the mid 400s. The highest I got was, I think, like a 750.
Sure.
And I was very proud of it. And right after that, just everything went to shit. My car got stolen, and then it's just like, because my car was paid off, my credit score immediately fucking dropped like 20 points or something insane like that. You miss one credit card payment on a credit card that you just paid off, you know, or like, and then you use it again. And bro, it's just like an endless vicious cycle. And it's just like, so what's the point of this then? For you to determine my value? Like, we are going back to just making it like it's classist, you know, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything has basically always been classist.
Classist,
Since the
racist,
concept of
sexist,
society.
like, it's just like, let's put you in these boxes. You're a poor brown woman. Good fucking luck. Like, and then you're just like, okay, so I have to move through the world like this. Now, as for an ideal future for me, and I had a friend ask me the other day as I was having a mental breakdown because I just am at a point where it's just like nothing really fucking makes sense. and everything just feels so heavy, and everything feels so like, what's the point? Like, when you see like old, like, and I was just telling her, she's like, oh, well, you know, like, what do you see, like, your ideal, like, future, like, being happy? And I was just like, quite frankly, like, if I'm being honest, and not to be like super like rain cloud, but like, if I'm being honest, I don't even know what that looks like anymore. Like,
Well,
I don't even remember like what that looks
Not
like.
having to stress about eating and
Yeah.
having shelter.
And the thing is like, this goes on to a level that even if I was, like, because I'm at a point where I have just been going back and forth. Now, I've been applying for jobs like a crazy person. Nothing. I've had a few interviews. Nothing. I was like, is this God telling me that, like, I just need to focus on the things that I actually came out here to do? Because, like, I've done the whole get a job and try, but I'm so fucking exhausted from the job that undervalues me and underpays me, where it's just like, okay, you get the job, you lose your EBT, so now you're using all that money, like your extra money that's supposed to be for you after bills, you're using it just to feed yourself. So I'm pretty much just working to live a life that I did not sign up for.
Yeah.
I did not fucking choose to be here. That was a choice that my mom may or may not have had back then, but she definitely wouldn't have had that choice now, which that in itself is just like, well, fuck. Like, we're
Be
just
ashamed, America.
And
we're
added
just
stressor onto the daily.
yeah, so then
impact.
it's just like, again, it's just like, how can you be happy in a world where you're walking over fucking homeless people and people are treating them like they're fucking cockroaches? You don't know their story, and everyone just can, to soothe ourselves and to feel like we're good people, we're like, they're bums.
They're
They
lazy,
just chose
they're
that.
drug addict, yeah.
And it's just like, you don't know how they got there. The truth
Right.
is, like, any handful of choices like that could have been me. Like,
Right, yeah.
and the truth is, like, all these people, like, like a good majority of these people that say that, like, you can't tell me, like, for the most part, there is a very small portion of America that hasn't experimented with drugs.
Right? Yeah.
So it's just like, you don't know if you have an addictive personality at fucking 18, 19, 20, like your early 20s, when people are doing that, or you're in high school and you're doing that. How you don't have the knowledge to understand like what that means, and then to experiment with that, and now you're just a slippery slope, and now you're just a drug addict who's
reacting to
Yeah.
the effects that all these chemicals you put into yourself are doing to your body.
Exactly. And it's just like, and you don't understand that, and people, it's just like, I don't know, we're breaking the families. People are icing out their families, being like, my family's toxic. I don't when it's just like, in truth, then just let's have these conversations.
But all our families are toxic.
And that's what I'm saying. But like, if a house divided will always fall.
Sure.
And the problem that, like, we live in such an individualistic, like, country that we have forgotten how much we actually fucking need each other. And until we get to a point where we can look at our neighbor and see them as a human, not just like, oh, this motherfucker that lives next door that's always angry, that's always this, blah, blah, blah. Like, when was it, like, California? It's so crazy because I remember growing up in the time it, like, kids now probably don't know that this is a thing anymore because people don't do this shit. But you go ask your neighbor, hey, can I borrow a stick of butter, a cup of sugar? So, do you have some milk? We didn't go to the store, blah, blah, blah. But it's like a thing you do back and forth, you know? And we were always that family. And I remember I would get embarrassed sometimes and be like, why do I always have to be the one to go ask, you know? But like, it's just like, you go and you ask, and of course they're not going to turn away a child. And I think secretly my mom kind of knew that.
Yeah, that's the psychology.
You know? But it's just like, I'm here being like, feeling like, oh, like, I'm just like a beggar. But the truth is just like, at that time, they were between checks. They couldn't go get it from the store. We're cooking something. Or even sometimes it wasn't money. Sometimes it was just like a matter of like, we started this thinking we had these supplies and we don't. Run to the neighbor's house real quick and see if they have some butter.
Need help?
You know what I mean? Like, because it's not something where you just turn everything off so we can go run to the fucking store to get what we need, especially because it's like a house, a family. Yeah, and that's exactly. We have lost our sense of community, and because of that, and people want to talk about, and this is, hot take. We've lost our sense of community, and people really sit here and like wonder why. Like, no, I don't think people should be able to just purchase like military grade assault rifles like that, like are fully automatic like that, like right. Because that's not for hunting, that's not really for like defending yourself. But at the same time, if the government turns, we're gonna hope that we have some of those things ourselves. That's kind of always in the back of my mind because they just don't trust the government, but that's neither here nor there. But in truth, sure. It's just like people want to talk about like, oh, it's the gun laws, it's the gun laws, it's the gun laws, and it's just like, no, it's how we treat each other. Like, we've dehumanized one another. We have devalued life itself. Like, we don't look like we have separated ourselves to the point where it's just like, if you can look at your family and be like, fuck them, they're toxic, I can't. Like, they're dead to me, whatever, like, I don't talk to them, blah, blah, blah. If you can look at your own mother, brother, sister, cousin, like, family, your own blood, you can look at them like this, of course you're going to look at a stranger, like, just completely detached and, like, their life isn't.
Of course you could walk up to that person and shoot them in the head.
Because, like, for what? Like, with no, like, feeling of, like, it's just something, anyways. Needless to say, a happy life, a happy future for me is a moment where we can just...
Happy life, happy future with guns. with guns.
I'm just saying more so, like, we need to humanize each other, create communities, because truthfully, the government's not going to do it for us. And I do want to just say, like, I do appreciate you guys a lot, because I do feel like, Corey, you are someone who does like to build community. And I think people like that are very, very important. Like, the world needs people like you, because without people like you, like, we're just going to end up in the same place. And I know it's hard to be that person, because the world makes it seem like being that person is a bad thing. Like, oh, like you're there's no profit from being that person. Why would you be that person? Like, why do you continue? Like, the nice guy always gets a bad rap, just like, because you're just a nice guy. And like that's shitty. Like, and I even like have had to have conversations like with friends, like even just when they're dating and shit. It's just like, the reason why you keep ending up with your feelings hurt is because you're dating people for the wrong fucking reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you just need, like, yes, I understand like the attraction and stuff. Like, we all want to be attracted to the person that we are dating.
Right.
But understanding that just because you're physically attracted to somebody and because they have their shit together doesn't mean that you guys are
chemistry.
Yeah.
That don't always mean somebody gonna treat you right.
Kind of more of like, what are you attracted to about that person? Because toxicity kind of works on any spectrum. It turns out if you do too much of anything, it turns toxic. So finding the balance in between how to work within relationships, and like relationships within yourself too, because like, again, just working through experiences, trying to find some sort of consistency has always been important. Because I always looked for problem solving. I was always better at math than I was at English. I would rather just solve a problem and try to explain to you some random ass topic. How do I feel about this book that you made me fucking read that I don't care about? Like,
yeah.
Then write 5 paragraphs
that was my favorite.
Hated it.
Oh, my English teacher loved me. Because I was the only person that would just go debates with him, and honestly, I almost never read the book. I would read like an excerpt and then just really just ride off of that. We could have did each other
homework back in the day.
Bro, 100%. Sure. Well, no, I never did the homework. Everyone always, so here's the thing, everyone always
finished before school was over. Whatever I didn't get done, I'd be like, I didn't need to do it.
Yeah, I either tried to do it in class the day that it was assigned, or in class right before, as the teacher's like picking it up, like, But yeah, no, my English teacher definitely loved me, and
Yeah, I fuck
the
with
other
English.
students in the class would like be like, "Hey, did you do the homework?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Let me copy your homework," and I was like, "Bitch, I never do the homework," and they were like, "But you're always talking in class." I was like, "Yeah, because this doesn't need to take up my time outside of school." Like, I never
Yeah.
understood homework. I felt like it was busy work, and like, teachers, you know, you want your nights and weekends. Why y'all giving out homework? Homework, either I get it or I don't get it. Anyways, that's another thing. Skylar, what does a bright future look for you? I don't know if I ever actually answered that question, but it's just a sense
You
of
did,
community.
you did, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A sense of community, like you're spot on. You know.
Skylar, what do you
It's-
really want to say?
Yeah, it's like that's why I'm running for this. I'm on the pod. I'm running for city council. Yeah, that's official. It feels good to say. It's something that I've been like in the closet for a little while. I've been like, I've been
In the
showing up-
closet. Always the one.
I've been like going
It's a
to
big ass closet.
going to like the meetings and like I'll just kind of act like I don't know where I'm sitting and I'll kind of wander behind the pews as if I was like supposed to be, and then I get escorted out or whatever by the bailiffs and all that. But I'm inching my way closer and closer into local politics where I'm gonna make big community important changes for our future of our community. I'm gonna get like you were mentioning the homeless people and the credit. I'm gonna get everybody on 30-year the micro loans like exactly where
You heard it
everybody's
here
gonna have
first, guys. Skylar for, what do you cancel?
$100,000
Skylar for city council.
with interest rates, of course, because I'm gonna run it through my own financing company or whatever. So, long term, it's an investment,
thirsty?
and that's for my own retirement and stuff. Because, let's be real, I'm gonna get my beak wet.
Your what?
My beak wet.
Okay.
Like, I'm not just gonna be hung out to dry by this fucking community. It's supposed to be a community, and I'm not making interest rates on these homeless guys that I'm getting credit cards to. That's wild.
Oh my God. Skylar. You heard it here first, guys. City council. Skylar for city council. All right, bro. All right.
What
I can't do-
what
if
have
you
y'all
wanna
been
drink more
binge
water, you
watching
can go over
lately?
there.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you. I watched the Umbrella Academy, and I need to express how much I love the goddamn show.
Don't spoil anything. We haven't watched this recent season.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with season 2, though. I will say that.
Well, you know, insofar as just the ways that it portrays characters in like family dynamics, basically, I just love the whole setup of the show. I'll go wherever they decide they're gonna go. I kind of just, it's like taking the ride.
Corey.
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I love this world. I love what you guys have set up here. Let's just do it. And, you know, you feel different ways about people at different times. It allows you to recognize the importance of communication in family dynamics. It's like, a simple conversation probably would have stopped a lot of the bullshit.
Oh my God, 100%.
So we'll see if it, you know, ends up wrapping things up by the time the series concludes. But for now, I'm wholly on board.
I want to zero in on something you said. You said you love the world that they created. Do you love that world so much to the point that if they did a spinoff, you would be down for that as well?
Be hard to say, because like it boils down to the whole aesthetic and how things are presented. I love the way the music is incorporated. I love the whole ensemble cast. There's not a lot of CGI or action, but like the times that there is, it just kind of, they try to make sense of it. And I love all, like, because it plays into its environment very well also. It gets kind of gloomy and sad and also fun and light, and they all have little dance breaks every now and then.
No, that actually does sound like the perfect show for you, honestly. It's like gloomy and sad, but there is sunshine like every now and then, and a dance break also. It's gonna be a fucking dance break. Oh, so Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy, we giving y'all free promo. Send us some swag
Yeah,
or
they just
mystery
put out
box.
season 3. Just make it season 4. It'll be fine.
So you finished season 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I had not watched season 2, and then I decided to watch season 2, and then I realized that there was a season 3, so I just watched that too. Spent 2 whole days watching both of those seasons.
Nice.
What constitutes something being like binge worthy for you?
Well, man, that's mostly just time.
Yeah.
How bored I actually am. How much I want to get invested. I tend to try and go for things that give a lot of fucks about the story they're presenting.
Fair. Fair.
Other than that, dramedies. And
Dramedies.
They, you gotta toe that line when it's a new age. We kind of moved past like the BD sitcoms and all of, like the melodramatic shows. I'm not a teenager. I don't need everything to be melodramatic.
Oh, I love it. I'm still in. If it's a juicy story, I'm like, ooh, okay.
What are you binging? Yeah.
Okay, so we did binge Harry Potters because we did not. Oh, we just talked about this last week, but we finally finished them. We did finally finish them, so that was good. That was worth it. Binge-worthy shows, I will say, The Righteous Gemstones, Chef's Kiss, so good.
Yeah,
if you get a chance,
The Danny McBride.
Yeah, Danny McBride. Yeah.
So it's genius. No, it's genius. Give him a round of applause. It's so good. It's so good. It's such a different like. It's just like a lot of people that do stuff like this are just very like God bashy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we hate Jesus, but it's
where
like,
it's more so just it's shining a light on the fact that these are just people. Yeah. It's just like these are just people, and like people do people-y things.
And it's
but they find a way to just make it comedic gold, of course, because it's But which then made me binge watch the other show where he's a teacher. Which one was that?
Oh yeah,
Vice Principal.
Yes, which was also good. Short, sweet, to the point. Like
they had a definitive
and it's the same. Yeah, so it's the same. It's the same crew.
Yep.
Yeah, they do good work together.
Walter Goggins is the dude who is very captivating on film.
Oh yeah, that's
how
Baby Billy.
Yeah. I was just about to say he's my favorite.
He's
Uncle Baby Billy.
He's
so good, so good. He's like just
he's a dynamic force.
Yeah. Of course, my go-to is always The Office because it doesn't matter where you start it. You can start it anywhere, and you could just sit and watch it. It's my feel-good show. If I'm feeling down, it can also be in the background. And the more you watch it, the more things you like see, because you're able to like, you already know what the plot is. So it's just like, then you see the little Easter eggs and all the like the foreshadowing that they do. Like I believe there's one point where Michael's leaving to go be with Holly or whatever, and he like throws away his world's best boss cup, right? And then you see in a later like a cut that Creed is drinking from the mug, which at this point where they're trying to find a new manager, Creed is like their worst nightmare. They were like, well, who's been here the longest? And they're like, I don't know if we want to go based off of seniority. And then Creed takes over, and it's just a fucking disaster. But, like, you see him drinking from the world's best boss mug. Which the irony of that is, when you first start and Michael shows, like, world's best boss, it's showing that, like they paint him as, like, he's not the best boss. He's, like, just, like, all over the place, you know? But as you grow to learn and know him, you understand that who he is who he's, like, become. Like the character development in that show is just amazing. Anyways, I'm like sucking The Office dick too hard, but yeah.
That first season was kind of rough. Michael was pretty awful in that first season.
they were trying to have him be like his British counterpart,
Yeah.
and they saw that didn't really
Yeah,
work.
the humor doesn't
for the-
necessarily
Translate.
translate one for one.
And then it went from Michael being this mean guy to him just being a guy that just desperately wanted family and did awkward, weird, uncomfortable things to show that.
Possibly has autism or Asperger's.
Like, I mean,
But,
yeah,
like-
they'll never
He means
admit it,
well.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Like, of course, Dwight is my favorite character.
You know, yeah, Dwight.
You know.
He's that.
Dwight, Creed, Michael. Those are my top
The
three.
White Creed, but then I feel like there's a whole subgenre of characters like the side guys,
Oh my
like
gosh,
the Stanleys
yeah.
and the Creeds and the Merediths, who they had their moments.
Yeah, Creed is just such a well written character because just he doesn't say much, but every line is gold.
Yeah, they make
He's
it
like,
count.
He's like, when he talks about Jan's boob job, he's like, all natural, baby, swing low, sweet chariot, and
Yeah,
you're just
lovely.
like, oh my
Lovely.
god, what is
Yeah.
wrong with him? But yeah, anyways. That's one of my favorite shows to binge. I've got like a bunch of lists of shows because we just really be looking for shit to watch most of the time. But
What constitutes like a binge-worthy show?
just
to you?
something that's created a world that I can get lost in and forget about how terrible the one we've created is.
That's fair. Okay, so also, like, if a show has, like, 10, 11 seasons, and say you have just a free week, are you watching that show? Are
Oh
you
yeah,
dedicating
I
that
mean,
time
remember
to
when
it?
we watched, what was it called? It's not where you come from.
Oh, yeah.
It's where
The
you
Fosters.
The Fosters.
Yeah.
I binged the fuck out of the Fosters because I watched Good Trouble first.
Spin-off.
Because it just came up and I was like, whatever. It was just
right.
one night. I'm someone who's like, I've watched.
You gotta give it a
So,
shot.
yeah,
sometimes.
I've watched so much shit that like if something pops up, I'll see what it's rated, like not like, but like
Like
if it
what
has
people
2,
are
3,
saying
yeah, I was
about
like,
it.
how many stars does it have? Sometimes I'm down for trash television.
Yeah.
But it depends on what mood I am. I will take a gamble. Like Stranger Things, I started watching that before it was like all like, it was something that like Netflix was like just, top 10 or whatever, like,
Yeah.
or this is what's new.
Very beginning
And so I
of it.
kind of just like, I was like, let's see what this is about. I seen that Winona Ryder was in it and I was like, ooh, love her. Of
Yeah.
course, 90s queen. Like, let's go ahead. Let's get lost in this. So I started watching it. I was like, holy shit, this show is amazing. Again, like, because they just created this whole world of stuff. I'm into sci-fi too, I think. I think I like things with a fantastical element, but I also think I love a good friendship story and a good story of family.
No, that is true.
The love stories, they don't always get me.
We've binged a lot of stuff. I've had to kind of alter my binging preferences because of you. Because my binging, like, it does lean more towards, like, sad black stuff. Like, and that's kind of, like, what I want to see, and that's where my heart's at. But understanding that, like, yeah, everybody might not want to see that. And when you have a binge buddy, you have to, like, make sure that
Okay,
it's
but
something
don't
a
like
little bit
make
more
it sound like
streamlined.
I don't
Oh,
watch.
yeah,
these, or
no.
like I
She's
don't
not
like-
racist.
As long
I
as
just
the
want to put that
story-
out there,
As long as
okay?
the story
She doesn't want to watch the
actually-
black shit.
But she didn't want to see a bunch of black. She didn't want to like
You just be
watch black people
overwhelmed,
die. Yeah, that's all.
oversaturated with the
She's
one
not-
note.
she's
of
not
sad
racist,
Yeah,
guys.
I don't always like to just be sad. Like I don't
Yeah.
always like to watch heavy stuff because I really I be feeling that shit.
I got
I'll
her to
be
watch
here, like,
Lean on Me one time, which was
cried.
probably Morgan Freeman's best movie, and she fucked with that. So,
Yeah.
but in
I know
terms,
you're not looking for food. Stop it. Sit down.
but in terms of like recent binging shit, Smallville. I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
Smallville is
We gotta get
always
back to that.
it's always a good one. I would love for you to finish Smallville. It ran for 10 seasons, and they kept Clark out of the
How
costume
far
for 10.
have you gotten thus far?
I think we're at what, like 5?
She's no. We are on 4. We're on season 4 right now.
Why'd you say it like I was so off? Like, whoa, we didn't make that. I'm like, what? We're probably like 3 or 4 episodes away from season 5 too.
Yeah, I just
Hey, you got a couple
I
of
like
seasons
I
left.
liked
And
it.
a couple of
Smallville.
middling ones.
But
where they're
like,
just yeah.
honestly, Smallville in large part, indirectly gave way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, gave way to the Arrowverse. It showed that superheroes could be viable in a contemporary way, multiple heroes. So I think that is ultimately Smallville's lasting legacy, and it's one of the longest running sci-fi shows. Smallville had no business running for the decade that it did, but
See, I wanna give it the benefit of the doubt, but because it was such a melodramatic Superman, we got Man of Steel, and that dude snapped necks.
okay,
So,
I don't blame
know if I
Smallville
like
for
this
Man of
time.
Steel. I blame Batman for Man of Steel. I blame the success of the fucking Nolan verse for Man of Steel. They just tried to fucking say, all right, let's put a bleak color palette on everything. And everybody can be a moody superhero that needs.
We're just like, no, he's a symbol of hope.
He's supposed, yeah, exactly. He's supposed, and that's the thing that just kind of that I hate about the way Superman is currently being portrayed. Like they take away the hope aspect, which is one of the key aspects of the character, and they just make it as to where like, no, he's scary. Like, oh no, he's Homelander. Or what if he was evil? And it's like he's supposed to be like the best things about. He's supposed to represent what America should be. Like, that's what he's supposed to.
The person you constantly choose to be and what you choose to do with your power.
Yeah, it's like he's supposed to be the best of us, but I feel like that portrayal is constantly left out. But,
Sky Guy,
Yeah.
what's your favorite binge-worthy show?
Pogs.
What?
Fat ass white girls. That's what I'll binge. I'll just like be scrolling through Instagram after video after
Talk
video.
about like shows.
Like shows, they got series. They're like independent, like lots and lots of independent.
No, like if someone was gonna ask you, like,
channels.
we're on Netflix and we're like showing you like.
Oh, I like the stand-up comedy. I like the new stand-up comedy from like the up-and-coming, like the comedians on
Is there, like, a
Netflix.
specific-
Comedians. I just love
The
them. I just
ensemble
love
ones?
all the Netflix
Yeah.
stand-up comedians
Okay.
on Netflix.
And then, like, if you were to get on Hulu, what what are you searching for?
I'm searching. Well, first I'm searching for Pogs. Is that coming up?
Probably not.
Damn. And then
But I think you knew that already.
Then I gotta grab. I gotta go for the classics, like the cartoon Will Sasso. One of those ones that's out there. Jason Sudeikis. Anything with Jason Sudeikis, I am just locked in. An animated series with Jason Sudeikis, a live action series with Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, I just want to real quick. Ted Lasso is also a really good show.
Ted
It
Lasso
is.
is
Oh my
great.
God.
No,
Yes.
Ted Lasso.
It's one of the only feel-good shows left.
Honestly,
has that
Ted
wholesome,
Lasso
like-
showed that like maybe there might be hope for humanity after all, because for them to be able to write something so heartwarming and there's really no salacious elements of it, I appreciated that, because it was a very risky thing to do, especially on this new streaming service. You're writing something that is so wholesome.
It's the only reason why we keep Apple TV.
Nah, honestly, I can't, and he embodies that part very well. And you just like, Ted Lasso is that. He's just the white guy that won't go out and embarrass you and say things like Oriental and nigger. He's that guy, and I appreciate him for that.
Ted Lasso gave me false hope for Apple TV. Honestly, I tried watching the morning show.
Oh, man.
So bad. It was so bad. And I gave it like episode after episode because I love Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. And Steve Carell was in it. And I was like, oh, this
Steve Carell, he did his part of it.
He did, and then he bowed out. And
then
was
he bowed
just like,
out,
he was
yeah,
just
they
like,
just let him
you
kill
guys,
his
the
character.
script is all
Yeah.
over the place. Just kill me. Just fucking kill me.
I watched a little bit of Space Force with Steve Carell in it, and him as a Space Force commander is the most hilarious thing that I've ever seen after having military experience.
Oh,
It's
God.
like, It's like he goes through with such general sincerity and like his stoic movements. And it's like, yeah, that's basically how people act in the military. He's got it nailed down.
Bro, he's such a genius actor.
Yeah, he's gonna always hold up his end of the deal. Like even if the material ain't all the way up to par, he's always gonna do his part. And so yeah, I'm glad this last end of the podcast like evolved into like a Steve Carell appreciation podcast because he is just like he is a fucking great actor.
He's an American treasure.
He is, and
he should be
a
treated
little
as such.
a little underrated. Just a little underrated too, I guess, because
But I
like
think that keeps him
Consistent.
that's true.
keeps him working.
And it does keep that cool factor about him a little bit as well. So, you know. Well, Corey, you want to open the door and lead us out into
thank you all again for being a part of the internet. We were on that also, and we are going to do other things. If you like this, like it. If you want to subscribe and join me, the only other person subscribed at the moment, you can do that. Otherwise, have a good night, and we're going to go on 1, 2, 3, down. And we almost got there on
He
six.
did it. I did it with Bowie.
Yeah.